Hi, everybody, and welcome to the second archetype short this day. This episode, we will be covering the mother archetype. And Reba, take it away.
Take it away to the
Take it
mother.
away.
Oh my gosh, this one is runs deep for me. Ugh. This archetype is not just about the mother. We are talking about feminine archetypes, but this can be also characterized as the caregiver. And as caregivers, as the thought of mothers, these also, as in all the archetypes, they have their strengths and their challenges. And a strength of a mother energy archetype is they're protective, they're nurturing, they're loving, they are creative. They obviously can bring life. Not necessarily, I mean, that I don't think it has to be a specific characteristic of mother because you can be a mother without actually giving birth. Um, the challenges then, after all of that, in that, like, I would say, I don't want to say ideal mother, but in a lot of societies, those are the mothers that we would like to be like, oh, this is the great mother. Or even thinking of Mother Earth as the all giver, right? Like she gives us everything that we need, but Mother Earth also has hurricanes, tornadoes, destruction, and those kinds of things. The same goes for Mother Energy, in that there is also the terrible mother. And this is that's not a word I came up with, but um, mothers who that or this mother energy of when you become so self-sacrificing and whenever you're almost like we talked about being resentful of the need and the all-consuming time that it takes to nurture something and bring it up to exist, like
Hmm.
into the world. And when that means at the sacrifice of the self, at the sacrifice of you not living your life, you not using your creative energy. Um, and gosh, this is just one that when I became a mother really quickly after I feel like being a maid, in the in maiden energy mostly. And at 23, it was like, oh, you're a mom now, which I had always related to that nurturing energy. This isn't also, I was still nurturer before I was a mother.
Hmm.
Um, like I would be I was caring of, I always wanted to like help people out when they needed help. I wanted to take care of people. I wanted to a lot of the time they're the friends that always have like the band-aids and they're the ones that are going to help you if you're throwing up or like they're the ones who it's just like that mother energy can be there way before there's children involved.
Hmm.
And so that kind of leads us into the mother energy, and I know we both probably have feelings about both about this energy.
I have feelings of not enoughness when it comes to mother energy. I was never a particularly nurturing person. Um, I still can't keep plants alive.
Your
I'm
children are though.
My children are alive. My dog is alive. But
I
I
mean, not
don't
that that
really.
would discount not that that would discount you as a mother.
Right,
If your
right.
children were like for real.
And I feel like I don't know. I wasn't that friend that took care of her other drunk friends. I wasn't the friend that had band-aids and ibuprofen for everybody. Or I, I just, I just never. It's taken training for me to become. And obviously, something weird but great biologically happens when you have a child, and all of a sudden you're like, I mean, like I can remember where I was in the hospital room when like it shifted for me.
Mm.
When I shifted from being the maiden to being the mother. And really that feeling of I'm in charge of somebody else now. It's not about me anymore. It's about it's not about who's going to come save me or what life is going to happen next. It's like, no, I need to be that person. I need to be the hero for this tiny little being that I have. So for me, the nurturing part didn't come until like after the kids were born.
Well, and that's what is very interesting part of talking about mother energy is that societally it's put on us that we be, if you are a mother or a caregiver, that this is, you're supposed to be all of these things, XYZ. And if you don't have this unconditional love for your infant or child or thing that you're caring about, then there's something wrong.
Right.
And I think a lot of people deny those feelings because they're like, I should be in love with this little creature that takes all of my fucking time and energy. And the reality is that's not always true.
Right.
And at what point is that costly to us? I didn't take care of myself because I I was first of all scared. Like for this goes back to me being sick. It was like I have other things to take care of besides me going to the hospital and figuring my stuff out and
Mhm.
going to the doctor and getting a scope on my throat and doing all these things. It was like, I got to take care of my kids. I got like other things. I have to cook dinner.
Right.
Like,
I got shit to do.
I got shit to do. So it was like this self sacrificing and also being scared didn't serve me because I ultimately got sick.
Mhm.
Um, so we see this mother energy in lots of stories, in especially in if you look in the fairy tales where there's this evil stepmother and there's
Mhm.
also like the the godmother who comes and saves you, right?
Right.
And how can we be okay not being fully in this like mother archetype even though we are mothers physically? What does that mean for being a mother? And do we give ourselves like you're saying like I don't feel like enough of a mother.
Right. I feel
Um
like I should probably be more in the archetype than I am.
yeah, and at different parts of our lives. Like is that more important when our kids are really young or is that more important when our kids are really old?
Right.
Or when they need, or do we shift that into being a mentor when they start having kids or whenever they get a little older to really, they fly the coop, right? Or whatever. I don't know what that would be called. Um, so we need nurturers, we need caregivers, and some of us are naturally more inclined to do so. Again, we all have this innate within us, whether you're, you know, whatever gender you are. Um, Someone just told me a story about her brother, and her brother's like super masculine guy, I guess you would say. And they went skiing, and she had never gone skiing for before, and they went on the bunny hill, and he's like, okay, we got this down, we kind of did all these things, and now let's go down the green slope. And she's like, she refused to do this. She was like, I am not. She got up there and she's like, I'm not going down. She's like scooting down on her butt and crying the whole way.
That's me. That's me when I ski. Can I just ride the lift back
Lift
down?
back, oh God, I don't
I
want to do
changed
it.
my mind. I don't wanna do this.
But he, in this masculine element, is like, you can do this. He's encouraging her. He's like, you can do this. And come on, get up. You can do this. And so finally they can see the end of the hill. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go down. I can see the hill, and you can either come with me or I'm leaving you. Like, I know you can do this, so bye. And she felt like he was the hero in her story, but he was a lot of things in that story. He was a nurturer. He was a caregiver, right? Like he's pumping her up. He's telling her she's awesome. Like she can do this. And he's protecting her like a mother caregiver.
Mhm.
He's showing her the way. And then he was like, you know what? You're going to just have to fly. Like, go do
I've done
this.
everything I can do. Be free.
Be free. And not only that, but I believe in you that you're gonna make it down this hill and that you're gonna be okay.
And I'll be here at the bottom, and I'll be watching you the whole way.
Yeah, and so in that, he was mentoring her, he was still the sage, he was the mother, he was the hero,
Mhm.
and all in one story, and all in one afternoon, and yeah, like, whoa. But those stories happen to all of us in our lives, and those people play those roles, and we play those roles. So, just because you don't necessarily think you have the one with the Advil, maybe your strength is mostly being the huntress or the queen or the sage. I don't really know which one it is actually, like, it may vary.
Mhm.
And how can we tap more into that mother in an authentic way that feels good to you? Like, how
Right.
can you be nurturing to your children in a way that feels like this is how I need to express it? This is how I want to express this nurturing. And that
Mhm.
nurturing might look different for different people. And not only that, your kids may get that nurturing in different ways from various people in your life.
Right. And that kinda goes into love languages, which
Mhm.
there's already been a book. You guys can read the book. We're not gonna do love language shorts, sorry.
I mean, we kinda could because not
We could.
everyone
Yeah,
knows
we
it
could.
actually.
But I think that's, like, one of my kids responds really well to the, "Okay, I've showed you everything that I can. You're on your own." And then one of
Mhm.
my other kids is like, "No, no, 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 no. You can't do that to me." But I'm kind of like the guy in that story, like, "Okay, I've done all I can do, and so I don't lose my patience, I'm gonna go sit down at the bottom of the hill, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for you." I did that to one of my twins. We were at a place with a water slide, and he wanted to go down it so bad, but he was so scared, and I'd seriously given him, like, a 30-minute pep talk. We're at the top of this tower. It's a small little water slide, but these people are just going past us and going past us. I'm starting to see the same people like 2 or 3 times, and finally, I'm like, "Okay." And I just probably shouldn't have done this. But I pick him up and I put him on my lap and I just, like, go down the
Do
slide
it.
before he can even protest. And the whole way down, he's like, "Ah," and then he's like, "Ah," and by the time we reach the bottom, he's like, "Let's do it again." And I'm like, "I told you, you would love it."
Yes.
But I
Yes.
that story reminded me of kind of my own parenting style where, "Okay, I've showed you how it works. I've given you the pep talk. Your choice, but just make one."
Yeah.
Just make a
Well, like
choice. I'm here either way, but just make a choice.
right. But like we said, like Mother Earth we are not just the reason that those are strengths and challenges is that if you maybe went right into like we're just going down this, like that may be not serving for your child. But it might be, who knows? Because we're all different. But you nurtured, then you were like, okay, the tornado's coming. Like we're just going.
Mom tornadoes here. Let's go.
Mom tornado is here. Um, so that's the other right? Like, just like we were talking about, the mother has energies that are strengths and challenges. And if we're so like we accommodate everyone, or if we're always like at the needs of everyone else, where are we still nurturing ourselves? Are we being a mother to ourselves? Are we taking care of ourselves and finding the balance in that? And I do like to think of like where am I at right now, and I would like to ask everyone else to even just think where are you at with the mother archetype right now? Are you overly self-sacrificing? Are you is it all consuming? Are you only in that archetype right now? And if so, how can you bring that balance in? How can you go be a huntress and be like, this is what I want to do and feel a little independence in like your own life? How can you be creative energy of the maiden? Um, like where I know you already alluded to kind of where you're at, where you're like, I don't feel like enough of the mother energy, maybe. Or maybe you're not recognizing what that mother energy that you actually do have, and what is that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's more of what it is. I think it's recognizing that maybe my energy doesn't fit what society tells me it should be, but that it's still it's still mine, and it's still a motherly sentiment, but it just doesn't look like the way I've been told it should, I guess. So
Mhm.
it's not really that I am suffering from not enoughness, because I feel like not enoughness is a product of your own belief of yourself or the beliefs of others that you've adopted.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I say it every day to myself that I am enough. But I think it's recognizing that just because that mom energy doesn't look like Sally Supermom over here with the fucking Yeti cooler full of snacks in the carpool line, that doesn't make me less of a great mom.
Yeah.
I'm not Sally.
Yeah. And recognizing our strengths and being like, this is how I nurture. I'm also not necessarily the mom who's going to have the snack. Maybe once in a while I'll have the snacks, and that's how I nurture, but I nurture in a different way than others may nurture.
Mhm.
And we need all of those nurturing things. And also, like, I appreciate those moms because when those moms nurture their own kids and my, it's like, thank you.
Yeah,
Like, because then I can bring some more of my huntress energy and or queen energy, and I don't have to feel, I feel like then it kind of brings it into a worldly balance, a community balance of,
community, yeah.
if we were all mothering all the time and all had the snacks, it would be like, okay, like that's enough snacks, everybody.
Right.
Like, we need the nurturers, the cheer on, cheering you on the sideline. Like, oh, man, we could talk about this archetype, I think, for a while. But
Yeah, for sure.
where are you at in this archetype? And just use this as a point of reference. And hopefully, as we go along, some of these other archetypes might help you pull you out of the mother energy a little bit more, or be like, how can I balance this? So as we go move along.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what other archetypes I am slash have been slash will be all in one day.
All in one day.
All in one.
Exactly.
Maybe one trip down the slopes. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, if that's do we have anything else
I
about
think
the I mean,
that's it.
we really could do a whole episode on
We
this one,
really could.
but we'll
But I
keep it
think
short because our next one is the lover.
I think we're doing
I
the
think
lover
you're
next.
on.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on the next archetype short.